everybody connected as usual. There we go. It just takes like 3 or 4 times of pushing the button over on the other one to get everything going. And we are all connected. And all right, let's see. So we missed a week because I was at H&H. And so I'm going to give everybody a few minutes to join. And oh, look, here's Sarah. I'm like getting chills over here. Oh my goodness. I think I should have maybe be drinking warm water instead of cold water. Like I'm suddenly chilly. So I have fun pictures to share from H&H and fun stories and fun swag, all sorts of stuff. I think I'm realizing I did a little silly thing where I put this is swag that goes to something else. Oh my goodness. So, yeah, all sorts of fun things. I just want to give everybody a moment to show up. So, I found this shirt in my closet today, right? So I was trying to decide what to wear because I'm like, oh, it's a live day. So I'm looking through my closet and I found this shirt. And I swear to God, I've never seen this shirt before. But it fits me now. And I recently lost like 55 pounds. So I'm like, how old is this shirt? Because it's actually a little bit tight. And this is like the least I've weighed since before the kids were born or since I was pregnant with the kids. All right. So like, where did this come from? All I can think is somebody must have bought it for me, or I bought it for myself thinking it would fit. And when I got it, it was too small. And then today I was like looking through my closet and there it was. And I was like, oh, this might fit. And I tried it on and it fit. But I have no idea where the shirt came from, but I really do like it. Oh, here we go. Bright Eye Stitch says she knows what I'm talking about. Good. I'm glad. Glad I'm not the only one who is like, I have no idea where this thing came from that's in my closet. But yeah, the really hysterical thing is that it is a little bit tight right now, and it's been 17 years since I was anything smaller than this. So, like, no idea, but it was fun. So Monique says, yes, love does win. And Sarah says, what does Sarah say? Yay for new discoveries in the closet, right? All right, so it looks like people are actually here now. I wanted people to give people a chance to show up before we started going through H&H stuff. So yes, I was at H&H last week, which is why we didn't have the live. H&H, for those of you who do not know, is the soft arts trade show. We're getting more into some of the other crafts as well, but it's mostly the soft arts, aka yarn and thread and fabric, needlepoint, all of that sort of stuff. This is the 4th year it's been in America. H&H Cologne, as in Cologne, Germany, I don't know how long they've been around, but like forever. And the big trade show there is kind of like on a lot of professional yarny people's bucket list of things to do. But then 4 years ago, they opened up a branch in Chicago. So we get one in Chicago every year now for those of us who live in this area of the world. So that's where I was last week, was at the trade show. I have some pictures to share with you. Some fun stories. I was just going through all of my business cards and stuff, and oh my goodness, I have so many of them. As you may know, the Crochet Foundry magazine is going to be seasonal now. So the summer issue, I was going to get the summer issue out for a subscription sale on this Friday, and then on next Friday get it out individual. But because even though we're now publishing seasonal, this one happens to be 1 month away from the last one when we were publishing monthly. And I spent an entire week in at H&H in Chicago, where I ended up having like no time to do anything. Um, we're either going to do the open for subscription on Wednesday and then individual sales on Friday of next week, or we'll just do them both on Friday of next week, um, depending on how quickly we can finish getting everything together. But I just did not, it was like I basically had 3 weeks to put this issue together, and it's bigger than most of the other issues because it's a seasonal one. So, yeah, that it didn't quite go according to plan. But like I said, after this, they'll all be coming out every 3 months because they'll be seasonal. And this is an amazing issue. This is why it's taking a little longer than we thought, because it's so awesome. And since it is seasonal now, there's more stuff in it. Um, so that is what is going on the Crochet Foundry side of things. The Jessie at Home / Crochet Foundry community is kind of merging together. There'll be more stuff happening on Patreon, and lives and all of that. So just, keep paying attention to that. Make sure you join our newsletter, to learn all of the as new things happen. And Dory says hello Dory. um I know I had a chat area within the Patreon that you could access some of it even if you weren't a paid patron. But after some of the things I learned at H&H this week and talking to some other makers, I think we're going to move the chat section over to Discord. So it just gives a little bit more freedom to those of you who aren't part of the Patreon, who aren't a paid Patreon member. So we'll have lots of space for people who are just everybody, right? And then there will still be patron sections only, because you can join Discord and Patreon that way. So we'll still have all of that as well. I think it's just going to be a little bit more user friendly over on Discord, and just be a little easier to organize and such. All right, so that is something that we are going to be changing about. Why don't I start off sharing some photos, because I don't have a lot of them because I was doing a lot of business. And then I'll share some of like the swag and stuff that I got when I was there, and some other fun stories. Um, you may have heard that a whole lot of people came home from H&H with COVID. I did not. I came home with travel crud. I almost always come home with a mixture of I talked too much and travel crud. Um, which thankfully is not COVID. Yes, I checked. I was pretty sure I didn't have COVID because I've had COVID twice before. Never that bad, but both times I was like incapable of staying awake. So I'm like, considering I can stay awake, we're good. It's probably not COVID, and I tested and it's not. Dory says, yay, she's on Discord. Awesomeness. Travel crud, Monique. I don't know. It's just when you get home from traveling, and like, it's just, there's so many, like, I was stuck at the airport all day on Mother's Day, right? We left to go to the airport at like 10:15 in the morning, is when our Uberish, it wasn't an Uber, it was some other car service, left. It took an hour to get there like it was supposed to, or like 45 minutes actually. And then my flight kept getting delayed. I was supposed to land at 7:30, which would have had me home at like 8:30, right? So I'd have a little bit of time to see the kids before they went to bed, or at least went upstairs to do their own thing, right? On Mother's Day, I was like, I have a little bit of time with my kids on Mother's Day, and I got home at like after midnight instead, because everything kept getting delayed. Yes, Monique, it is very good I don't have COVID. If I did, the magazine would probably be like 2 weeks late, because like I said, I've gotten COVID twice before. I've always gotten the vaccines and the boosters and everything, But um, I did manage to get it twice. It wasn't that bad when I got it, but when I do get it, it knocks me out. I am incapable of staying awake. Um, Yeah, Sarah says your immune system is down and you're hugging everyone, so it's inevitable to get some sort of germs. That is essentially the definition of travel crud. So, yes, that's what I have. And Leaping Loops over on Instagram says, "Oh no, I think about me being stuck at the airport all day on Sunday." So Leaping Loops is Rachel, and so Rachel, I know that I don't actually owe you your sample back from like March or something. But I I was gonna bring that bag with me. Yeah, it was either the February or the April. Maybe it was the February issue. But anyway, I was gonna bring the bag with me to H&H to give you, Rachel, when we were there, because I was like, hey, save on shipping. The issue is out. I don't need to hold on to it. Um, and somewhere along the line, while I was making sure that I had it, I put a bunch of yarn in it. I think when I was bringing it upstairs from my studio, my studio's downstairs and I was bringing it upstairs with things that I was packing. And I put some yarn and stuff in it to bring it up when I was going upstairs. And then I left the yarn in it and it ended up in the pile of my project pile. So it didn't make it to H&H with me. But I'll get you that back. She says, no worries. But it was pretty funny because I didn't even realize until Monday. I walked downstairs and I looked and I was like, oh, look, Rachel's bag. I meant to bring that. So, some of you may have noticed if you saw the thumbnail for the live, it's actually a picture of Rachel and I that Rachel took, which is probably on her Facebook page, or maybe on some Leaping Loops socials. I'm not sure where it is. I know I saw it on her Facebook page. It might be in other places as well. Anyway, why don't I share some of these photos and such with you? So where is the magic button? This one? Yes, this one. Oh, let me close that out. There we go. So, can I just make it big and show you just the pictures? I can, and we can hide this. All right, so this was a really cool mural. I don't know why I suddenly was incapable of getting the whole thing in the frame. Um, but this side is crochet and this side is quilted, and it's actually by Cassandra, who we did a a fiber artist interview with a few months ago. Last year at H&H, she had the really cool Green Man crochet display. And so this year, and I think it was also at Creativation last year. So this year, I'm not sure if this was at Creativation as well, because I was not at Creativation, but it was definitely here at H&H, and it's really cool, and I love it. Alrighty, then we have this piece was made by Corey, I think Parsons is his last name, and he works with Linda's. So Linda apostrophe S, which is a like a soft arts supplier. They have fabric, they have thread, they have all sorts of things that, notions, rulers, and they're expanding more into their knit and crochet area. I need to look more into them and everything, but I got to meet Corey and he was very, very cool, very, very talented. I mean, you think this is cool. There was another quilt he had there that was just super amazing as well. This one is all really cool piecework and super fun. So love it. Righty. And then, oh, and my shoes, look, wait, go back, go back. Ah, lost my mouse. Okay. I don't know if y'all remember at, H&H. Here, hold on. We got a few more things. Monique loves your bag, Rachel. And yes, butterflies. And yes, this quilt is beautiful. All right, we got that. Um, So I don't know if y'all remember when I went to Vogue Knitting Live in New York City at the end of January. I got these Wooloo shoes. Um, and I was like, I need to try them out at H&H and see if, like, because they were supposed to be really awesome and amazing. They're merino wool, and the company like has their own sheep, and it's a really cool like knit crochet adjacent company. And the shoes, like, they're really high quality shoes with really thick soles, very comfy, and antimicrobial, antibacterial, something along those lines. Anyway, let me tell you, by the end of H&H, my feet and my entire body have never felt as good as they did at the end of this H&H at the end of a trade show. Like these, oops, the Woolloomaloo shoes are just amazing. So I know I shared them with you before. I'll share a link at some point on my socials or whatever, because I want to do another little review of what it was like to have nice shoes at H&H, because they're awesome, and it's good to know when there are shoes that you can wear all day, right? So I loved those Woolloomaloo shoes. Woolloomaloo. Leading Men Fiber Arts. I've finally had a chance to actually talk to them. I keep at other shows. I've seen them at other shows, and they're always like so swamped that I never quite have a chance. But I saw they had a crochet along / knit along this year, and it was the Progress Pride flag headband, ear warmers. So here's the crochet one, and then over here is the knit one. Um, so they were super cool. And we'll probably be doing some stuff with them. And then look, I'm at Mixed Domestic. All right, I was like, when I saw them there, well, first of all, when I first saw them, I almost just like walked up and was like, hey, and gave them a hug, because like when you see somebody, you sometimes just like walk up to them and give them a hug while you're still registering who it is, when it's somebody that you just love that much, right? So I saw Matthew, and I was like, what? And I don't, they didn't notice, because like I saw them, and they were like just looking and looked back. So they didn't see the silly thing I did, which I started to walk to give them a hug, and then realized that no, I don't actually know this person. I just feel this intense sense of love from like having watched them through all of their journey and everything, and like just thinking they're really awesome. And so, sorry guys, my Facebook keeps popping up. Facebook messages. Um, so yeah, then I like caught myself, realized what I did, and I went up to them, and I told them, hey, as the mother of two queer kids, I want to thank you for who you are and what you do for like showing up and being your authentic self, and showing my kids that you can be your authentic self and be amazing. Like, they're both artists, they're both queer, and they both individually, separately from each other, were like, hey mom, have you seen this person? They're really great. It was adorable. And it was like within a week of each other, they both were like, have you seen this media influencer person? They're really great. And both times it was Matthew Mixed Domestic. So I told him that, and he was just sweet as can be. And let's see, Leaping Loops Rachel says, I wanted to meet them, and he forgot. Yeah, they were kind of, I don't even know how I managed to meet them. Like, it was just like we just happened to be in the same place, because they seemed rather busy, but at that moment they actually had a moment. Um, and I was at first I was nervous to meet them, because I was really worried. I was like, because I just, you have this, I have this, great love for them, and I knew that they would be awesome. I knew they would. I knew that they were really that person. There's always that little bit of a fear when you meet somebody that you've never met in person, that they're not going to be the person you think they are. And let me tell you, Matthew, every bit as awesome as you think they are, and then 10 times more. So I don't know how to make my messenger stop popping up like that. Sorry, guys. So yeah, if you ever get the chance to meet Matthew, they are freaking amazing and awesome and beautiful. And unfortunately, one of the many people who came home from H&H with COVID. Um, Rachel, did you survive without COVID? You were only there for a day, so you might have actually survived. Monique says, yes, very true and very, yeah, Matthew is just awesomeness. Okay, I think there's maybe one more. Oh, so last year, y'all know Lindsay Stevens is okay. Good. Rachel says that she's feeling healthy, so she managed to get out of there without catching COVID. Lindsay Stevens is one of our tech editors for Crochet Foundry and has also been a friend of mine for like over a decade. And I get to see her at various events and everything. So last year at Hanukkah, I found this bag of little candy dreidel puzzles. Um, and so I bought it for Lindsay, and it's just like pressed sugar, right? So um, I'm like, yeah, it's totally fine. The expiration date is like 2 years from now or something. I'm like, we're fine. So I bought it for Lindsay, and I brought it with me to H&H, and but then we were like, wait, can I give it to? I can't give it to Lindsay on Saturday because like we were a bunch of us were together. Some of us were together on Saturday, but Lindsay is Orthodox Jewish, and so she can't make the puzzle. So we had to wait until after sundown on Saturday before Lindsay could make her dreidel puzzle. So she did. We're like, Lindsay, can you puzzle yet? Can you puzzle yet? It was awesome. It was very fun. So yes, after sundown on Saturday, Lindsay was able to make the candy dreidel puzzle that I bought her. It's like a bag. There's like with individual bags of the puzzles, so there are several of them she could bring home and share with her other friends. But I was so excited about this silly little dreidel candy puzzles I bought for Lindsay because I'm a dork like that. All right, let's see. There might be one more. I think it's Mother's Day morning. Yes. So this was how I spent my Mother's Day morning. That's me. That's Pia from Stitches and Scraps, who is also one of our tech editors and my friend for well over a decade. That's Lindsay, and that's Tamra from Moogly. So these ladies are some of the ladies who I have been friends with for well over a decade. And I love them dearly, and we were together on Mother's Day morning. There were going to be more of us, but people had travel issues and COVID issues. Blarg. All right, let's see about this one. Monique says, "Love the dreidel puzzle. She clearly celebrates Sabbath on the weekend." Yes, Lindsay is very Orthodox, so um, but we're all well versed in how to be good friends to Lindsay on Friday nights and Saturdays. So we all know. So this was one of the evenings. I think this was Wednesday evening in one of the hotel's lobbies. So let's see. This was us. We had a little stitch night actually. Julie, it was on the 7th at 7 p.m. and Julie and Ashley no, Julie, Ashley, and Sarah, I think, kind of organized on the 7th at 7 p.m. at the Suites um, second floor little area. So we all had a little stitch night there, and this was later on. A lot of the people had gone by then. But we have Julie Desjardins, who is a crochet, French Canadian. And then you can't quite see her. This is a new friend of mine, I believe, Marcy, and she is the owner of Bad Sheep Yarns, and she is amazing, and her yarn is amazing, and I just got to meet her and everything. Britt works with her a lot, so it was really fun to meet her. This is Ashley Parker from Loopy Lamb, and this is Anna Lizina. I'll show you her book later, but she's the naughty boss. I met her the first time that evening, and we just like I didn't know who she was. I don't know if she knew who I was or not, but we just started talking and just fell in love. And she was like, I have a book signing tomorrow. You should come. And she told me the booth number and the time. And then I showed up and I saw the book and I was like, oh my God, I know exactly who you are. And it was funny because there were a lot of other people getting their book signed who were kind of like, you know, a little like starstruck to see her. And then I walk up and she comes out from behind the little table and she's like, Jessie, and gives me a hug. And I had said in the line, I was like, oh, that's who she is. And the people behind me were like, you're here to get a book signed and you don't even know who she is. And then she comes out and like gives me a hug. And I'm like, oh my God, the people behind me probably hate me. But yeah, she's super cool. I'll show you her book when we have the full screen back on. This is Sarah Zimmerman of Repeat Crafter Me. And what you cannot see in this picture is that this is a really like hokey red sweater, red knit, like machine knit sweater with a white lobster on it. And she and Julie are wearing the exact same sweater. Apparently, they went shopping together like a day or two before this and decided that the sweaters were cool and they had to buy them and wear them together at the same time. So they were twinning. It was hysterical. So cute. Brittany of Not Bad Brit, who also works sometimes as a like designer kind of liaison and such with Bad Sheep Yarn, and is also the founder of Makers of Color Collective. I do not remember this lovely lady's name. She, like I said, there were a lot of us, and by the end, I knew almost everybody, but not this one. I'm not sure if she was there with Anna or with Marcy or somebody else. I mean, I certainly enjoyed spending time with her, but I never actually officially met her, so I'm not really sure who she is. That's Tamara, of course, with her water bottle. Me and Natalie of Detroit Knots. So that was just from our little stitching night. And then I have Sarah and I. These are Sarah's photos here that she took some really nice photos, so I wanted to share them. And again, we have Sarah and then Michelle and Hillary of Go Sadie and me and somebody else. And I think that's the end of it. This is from actually the previous H&H. So let me do this. Waha! All right, cool beans. I'm going to close that out. And I want to show you some of the awesome stuff that I discovered at H&H. So here is Anna's book, and she does it's David and Charles is the publisher. She does really easy to follow, really well filmed tutorials. Is probably what you've seen of hers. She usually has on like really dark nail polish. And the tutorials, they're just super easy to follow. You don't need the sound on or anything. And they're just decently quick of her showing you how to do things, various stitches. And they're really good quality with nice contrast, so that you can see the stitches and everything. And it's just, yeah, I like her stuff. Obviously, some of these images, they're not all her hands. Yes, not only does the that is the not yeah, they obviously had somebody else doing some of the hands, but the ones you might recognize in some of the other ones where it is her hands, how she always has like the really dark nail polish here. Like this one is her hands from one of the videos. Um, and she always has on that really dark nail polish. So I love her little video tutorials. And she's a really good person. She's like our kind of people. All right. Somebody you can feel really good about supporting. Um, let's see. I also, while I was there, I got some really cool swag. Lemonwood was there. And look at this one that I got. It's like inspired. Does anybody recognize what that's inspired from? Oh, uh, let's see. We have a few more. Monica said good morning. Sarah said Bad Sheep is awesome. Monique said good morning to Monica, and Monica is driving again, and Dory has to dip out to go get groceries and will catch us all later. And Sarah got it, the last unicorn. See, it's inspired by the last unicorn. Apparently it glows in the dark, but I keep forgetting to check that. And it's one of the things that you slide your cake yarn onto, and then once you've slid your cake yarn onto it, you can put the little thing on it and wear it on your wrist. All right, so oh, Monique wants it. Uh, wants the spinny thing. Forgot it's from Lemonwood, and this one spins from up here. Um, they have a little. They're making a little thing that you can sit it on. So if it's on the table, you could sit it on something, and it would spin. The base of what you put it in spins. I've also seen some from other people who like it spins in the base and the bottom is flat. This is obviously the bottom is not flat on this one. So while you could sit it on a table, it would sit at an angle and would not spin. Um, Sarah is right. Lemonwood is the best of the spinners. It's great for if you have a spinner if you're like have a spinner hanging from your arm. This is perfect for that. If you want a spinner sitting on the table, they're putting out a base that you could sit this on, that will spin with it. They're still like doing like testing and stuff, I think, are finding a place to produce it, or so, I'm not sure, but it's not out yet. But it is most likely in the works. It is in the works and will most likely come out. So yeah, great if you're carrying it though. It spins really nicely. It just doesn't spin on a flat surface because it's made to be hung and spun, not sitting and spun. Let's see. So, you know how I get books from Search Press a lot to review? Well, they have those various card deck things that I really like. And there's a new one that's out in the UK because their main branch is in the UK. It's in the no, there is in Canada. It's out in Canada. I think it's out in Canada and the UK right now, but it's not. It'll be out in the States. I think she said in the fall, and it's the Granny Square card deck, but it's the Flowers Granny Square card deck. So it starts, there's the little book that like helps you understand how to read the patterns and has written patterns for some parts of some of the cards, because most of the cards are you're really fine just going off of the charts. So here we have the deck, right? And we'll just like pull one out of here. And is it from Bella Coco? Claire Montgomery is the name on this one is Claire Montgomery. Did Bella Coco do the regular squares one? I'm not sure. I don't remember. I don't know who did that one. I don't have that one. So here's one. See, so you have the cool little picture, and then on the back you have the chart and a little bit of note. There's a note and some joining information. So whatever they feel like you need in addition to the chart. And then there's a few that needed a little bit more than would fit on there, and that's in the book. So let's see now. We have, this is Aster. It's a 3D motif. Okay, and so we have this. All right, let's see. Monique, wait, let's go back there. A couple comments. Monique had asked if it was from Bella Coco. Sarah says, love those cards. So do I. Bella Coco has a game and thought it was this, but you didn't know about these. Yeah, there's, I think last year they came out with just a regular Granny Square, like a Granny Square deck. It wasn't like flower. This is the one that's specifically flowers. And the cool thing is, because there's like there's these cards and they're all the same size, what you can do is if you're making, like, say you want to make like a 9 patch, you can lay them out and look at them. And I know people who have taken the Granny Square, the original Granny Square one, and made copies of them like with a low tone, a low, so it comes out light. That's what I'm trying to say. Made copies of them so they come out light, and then they can color them all in differently or whatever. If they wanted to do them with multiple colors, but if you're just trying to decide what squares look good together, you can be like, oh, well, I want, we're gonna pick out 4, and you can just like pick out 4 designs, and here we go. I have 4. I didn't really like. What? Oh no! I just dropped some of them. I will pick them up later. All right. So here's so you can take your little, squares, and you can be like, all right, how do these actually look together? And you can see, is that the way I want it? Or maybe, you know what, maybe it'll be better this way. Look at that. If I'm going to use these colors, maybe not so much that way because it kind of looks cooler with the colors going this way. But maybe I'm using my own colors. Ooh, I like it this way because like this one up here, and so this one and this one both have like a dimensional flower, and the other two don't. So it's kind of cool that they're diagonal. But you can really, plan your stuff out. And like I said, if you either use tracing paper to trace them so that you can color them in, or just like, as I know some people who would, with the original pack, had, I'll show you the box in a moment here, Susan, had copied them on like really lightly so they could color over top of them to plan their colors. But it's nice because they're nice and big. You can see exactly what they look like, and they all have the charts on the back and a little bit of instruction, and they're no longer neat and in order because I dropped some of them. So this is from Search Press. All right, it is not out in the States yet. I believe it's out in the UK and in Canada, but it's not out in the States yet. The Granny Square Flowers deck card deck. They also, the one that is out already is just the regular Granny Squares. They're not flowers, they're other ones. And it's the same idea, just not flowers. It's super, super cool. I love them. And they have the card decks for various things as well. So very cool. And Monica says, let me see, we got a couple of them. Missed the name, so I'm showing that now, but you're not gonna, it's not for sale here. Yeah, great cards, love flowers, still amazed at what can be created with yarn. Yeah, right? Monica loves the cards, and Monica's, here we go, comes out May 27th. So it actually comes out a little sooner than I thought. I could have sworn Anna had said fall, but maybe she said summer. So that's awesome. Yeah, and I'm sure you can order them. You can order them from Search Press. You can order them from Amazon. I will eventually have. We're working on getting a page up on Search Press website that are Jessie's picks. So once we get a page up on the Search Press website of Jessie's picks, I'll be able to share that link with you guys, and it'll be like the things that I've reviewed and think are awesome. And then I'll actually, all these times when I want to like show you guys stuff, and then you go and you buy it, and I don't have like an affiliate link with me right away. And I was telling Anne at Search Press, I was like, I like, people all the time are buying these books and stuff that I'm telling them are awesome because they're awesome. The books and the people. And I never get any affiliate payments for them because I don't share an affiliate link at the time, because a lot of times it comes up organically, right? When we're talking about somebody and something, and somebody's like, hey, how do you do this technique? And I'm like, oh, here's a great book that teaches you this. And then you guys buy it. So Anne said that they're going to make a page just for us on Search Press for Jessie's Picks. And then if anybody buys anything from the Jessie's Picks page, I'll actually get affiliate payments. You guys pay the same thing. I just get like an advertising fee. Monica got her card through Amazon. See, and I do have an Amazon page too, but again, I need to actually like get things organized so I can give you like one quick link and you guys can actually use the affiliate links. Because I'm usually thinking more along the lines of like finding you awesome things, and then realize later that I should have gotten myself paid for you guys finding those awesome things, since it costs you the same amount. Sarah, awesome. Yes. Can you take an affiliate link? Oh, I don't yet have the Search Press affiliate link. I could find an Amazon link to this and put it in the video. But I'm not that. I'm gonna just make sure to get. I'll make sure to get it on my Amazon storefront page, I'll update my Amazon storefront page, and then I'll be sure to start sharing that a little bit more. But my Amazon storefront page is Jessie underscore at home. I can well, it's fine. I'm going to be more on top of that because that's my bad, right? So I will be more on top of that. I just having just gotten back from H&H, haven't quite had the time. All right, so more fun stuff. I got another pen from Artsy Craftsy D, my friend Deirdre, who does the really cool illustrations and graphic arts and stuff. I was like, I already have one. And she's like, do you want another one? I was like, well, actually, you know what? Kyla keeps threatening to steal mine. It's a pen, guys. Look, it's a pen. Kyla keeps threatening to steal mine, so now I have one for Kyla. And Zula. So I was talking with Knit the Rainbow, because y'all know that I volunteer with Knit the Rainbow, right? And we were talking about how the booth, it never has any handmade, they don't have like handmade booth decorations because, because we haven't done any. We don't have handmade booth decorations. And I'm like, I could knit or crochet a backdrop of the sign because they have a sign, like a big vinyl sign that they can hang up. And they have a couple of the pride flags and everything. And, but, Austin, the founder, is like, well, if we have a knit or crochet backdrop, what it might be really big. It might be too heavy. It might take up all of my suitcase space. And he's like, what can we do that, like, sometimes I have more room to take things and sometimes I have less room to take things. And we were talking, the pen's cool. We were talking about, wouldn't it be fun if we can also do this as one of those like community sourcing things where everybody, how there's the big signs and everybody makes a square and you put them together. But again, if we had a backdrop and everybody made a square and we stuck them together, it might be, it can only be used at local events because otherwise it's an entire suitcase. So then I was like, dude, what if we did like banner size flags, like, bunting of the various pride flags? I was like, that's actually something I've been wanting to for years, make a pattern for each of the pride flags and both knit and crochet. And find a couple yarn companies that are our kind of people, and list the colors, which yarns and which colors would work for them and whatever. I was like, we could totally do that. I could make a knit pattern and a crochet pattern for each of the various pride flags we want to do, and then we could have get 5 of each, 5 knit and 5 crochet of each of the various flags, and then have them all community source those, have them all sent to me, and I would put them together in like 10 different banners, and we would have 10 pride flag banners, and Austin could just, or whoever's going can just bring as many of them as will fit. So we can have a bunch of them hanging up or just one in front of the table if it's something where it's like, I'm just going for the weekend and I have like one suitcase and that's it, and I need to get the entire booth into one suitcase. Okay, just bring one banner. We're like, we can bring everything, bring all 10. Nifty. So this was like, we come up with this idea at like noon on Friday, and the show ends at like 3 on Friday. And I'm like, okay, well, obviously this is not, I'm not going to have this all planned out by the end of today. And it's not going to happen for Pride this year, but we can totally make sure it happens for Pride next year. And I can find some people really quick too, right? So I do a quick walk around. By the time I'm done with a quick walk around, I have like Leading Men Fibers is like, yeah, totally. Katia Yarns, which just came to the States like 3 years ago. I've always loved their yarn, but they're out of Spain. Spain with an S. I know I'm a little cruddy, so Spain is in over there, not as in Maine, as in still in the States. So they're now here as well, so it's easier to get their yarn, so that's exciting. Alexandria, the Art of Yarn. A bunch of places. I had a bunch of yarn companies who were like, yeah, totally, we would love to, because I was like, we're gonna need to find several yarn companies who would be willing. And look, I have another designer over here helping. Rachel's like, I would love to help with that. So several yarn companies. I'm like, we're going to need to find several yarn companies to do yarn support to send yarn to the makers. I mean, the makers could buy their own yarn, but it's kind of fun if you can get the companies to do the yarn support. It makes a bigger thing out of it publicity wise, because then all the yarn companies share. And it's also really fun for the volunteer makers, because sometimes they get to use a yarn they haven't tried before. Maybe something that's normally out of their budget, or something they just hadn't heard of, or whatever. But I'm like, if we need to do 5, if we're doing like 10 of each flag, there's a whole lot of people, right? And each person needs their own yarn support. So even though like you could maybe make 10 flags out of one set of the colors, if it's 10 different people, you need 10 sets of the colors. So, I was running around to places that I knew were our kind of people real quick. And in the process, also managed to run into stores that were all kind of people as well. So like Drew from the Bear and Fox Den, and Borsky, also AKA the Crochet Dude, Nina Chicago. Uh, there were quite a few different like people from yarn stores who I ran into while I was in the talking to other people who was like, we'd love to like do what we can do, advertise it, or if people are going to buy yarn for it, we'll give them a discount or whatever. So, and I have like, Sarah, Rachel, Leaping Loops said she'd love to help over on Instagram. Sarah says she'd love to help. So when we're doing it, this is going to be a project that I will be in charge of. So if you're following Jessie at Home, if you're following Crochet Foundry, or if you're following Knit the Rainbow, you will hear about it from all of those places. I'll make sure it gets in the Knit the Rainbow newsletter. Most likely what I'll do is there will be stuff on the Knit the Rainbow socials with like photos and everything, but then I'll probably do like real meet the sponsors kind of blog post, and maybe a couple of those, and like feature some of the yarn stores or whatever, in some in Jessie at Home and some on Crochet Foundry blogs. Because Knit the Rainbow doesn't really have like a nice active blog. So Knit the Rainbow will do lots of like the socials and everything, but I'll end up putting some blog posts on Jessie at Home / Crochet Foundry. And I will definitely make sure that, no matter which of those 3 communities you're a part of, Jessie at Home and Crochet Foundry are kind of merging. But those, or Knit the Rainbow, I'll make sure you guys find out about it. So anyone who wants to help, if you know of a yarn shop that wants to advertise it, if you want to do, make a piece, make one of those flags, if you want to, if you know of a yarn company that is queer friendly that might want to be one of the sponsors or whatever, you can reply to those things. Let us know. Something tells me it's not going to be difficult, just with the people that are in the communities that I'm in. It's not going to be difficult for me to find all of this information, because I mean, you're all already being like, can I help? Can I help? Can I help? And like I said, I like literally, I walked like 1 hour. I came back to Knit the Rainbow, and I was like, I have all these things. And on top of it all, I went over to Anzula, who I love, and they have actual pride flag variegated yarns. Like, so when you make this, it's not going to be like, you're not going to get the perfect little pride flag, but they're variegated in the correct order and everything, colors, yarn. So I was like, I could make a couple real quick banners with the variegated yarn that I can just make up really quickly, to have in time for this pride. So they gave us some. This one is the non-binary pride flag. This one is the transgender pride flag. And this is all Anzula yarn. And it's the Anzula Cricket, which is one of their most popular bases. It's a DK, and these are pride flag. If there's a specific pride flag you want and they don't have it, they can make it. So like I said, we have trans, we have non-binary, we have pan. This one is pansexual. This this one is bi. Sorry, this one is bisexual. This is the regular old rainbow, just the happy pride flag. This is the gay flag, specifically like for gay males. What did I say about the flags again? We're going to be doing through Knit the Rainbow, which is an amazing organization, a 501c3 organization that collects winter accessories that are hand knit, crocheted, or woven for LGBTQ plus youth who are homeless or housing unstable. It started just in the New York City area. We expanded to Chicago, like for the first H&H 4 years ago. And now we're expanding a lot more. I believe we have some in Detroit, Susan, which I feel like is right around you. Monica has an appointment. Awesome sauce. I hope it goes well, whatever it is. Let's see, and I have one more. This is the Polly, right? Let me see. It says on it. Yes, this is the polyamorous pride flag. So you may have noticed we have the gay male flag, but we don't have the lesbian flag, and that is simply because they were out of the lesbian flag colors. So, but this is what I have. These 6 I have for for starting off to get some banners made really quick and easy for this June, because I'll just make them without having to. I'll just make little banners in each one of these to hang on a bunting, and then before next year Pride, we'll have the community program that will have patterns for knit and crochet for each of the individual Pride flags. We'll share the patterns. The patterns will be accessible for free for anybody who wants to use them. For anything you want to, it's all going to be free of charge. So even if you don't make a flag for the community outreach program, you can always make them for yourself. You can make them for your school's SGA, whatever you want to do. So that will all be happening. And I'll make sure to keep you guys abreast of all of that. So that was one of the really, like, halfway through the last day of H&H, I was just over at the Knit the Rainbow table, and we were like, we need this thing, and came up with it. So that was super fun. All right, let me put all this down over there. And I see Beth joined, Fig and Filament. Hi, Beth. I miss you, Beth. Let's see, I got a few more cool little things. This was from Lemonwood as well. It's a little pin minder, and it has a little magnet underneath it. So, like, you could stick it on your fridge, or you see how it's got the magnet? I could, like, if I'm sewing, I can slide the magnet under my watch, and now it's like on my wrist. Isn't that cool? So that is super nifty here. And I can probably stick it right there too. That's cool. This was Bad Sheep yarn. I just loved this colorway, so this was my little Bad Sheep yarn gift. And then we have a couple. This is from Townhouse Yarns. Some really cool little Spire Singles mini skein. This is 2.0, and this is Lady Townhouse. So some nice other cute little mini skeins that I got from there. So many stickers, guys. I have like stickers out the wazoo over here. Of all of the stickers, there were some really cool ones, but my favorite one was I was walking and I went, ooh, shiny, because like I saw a bunch of stickers on the table and I went, ooh, shiny, and then I got up to them. They literally say, ooh, shiny. So once I recovered from laughing at myself, I took a sticker. Let's see, this is cool from Prim. It's a weight for like when you're cutting your fabric, and it is also a pin cushion, and it is a crocheted kiwi. It's like everything all in one, right? Sarah's laughing at me and my ooh shiny, I'm sure. Let's see a few more fun things. Well, that was my name tag. And, oh, right. Barocco, of course, as always, um, gave a bag of some of the new things. This was My Boshi, which is out of Germany. And they're going to be opening an online store, which will be easy to get yarn from in the States. So we might be like doing something with them once they get that going. And then with Barocco, they just, look, another sticker. I have like, actually, I can see one on my bookcase right there. I have so many of these stickers. They're so darn cute. So do my kids. But these are some of their newer yarns that we have. So from Barocco, which is fun. Monique says, ooh, shiny. Ultra Alpaca Natural. My new camera is a little yellowy. Valina, which is superwash wool, hemp, and cotton. And it's one of those chain yarns, where it's like, it's a chain. It's like a thread that's been I-corded or chained to, and I really like them because they don't split when you're, there's no split to these, and the stitch definition, that's the word I'm looking for. The stitch definition is always really nice with those. This is Gianna, and it's actually another one of those chain ones. It's 46 wool, 26 cotton, a little bit of silk, and a little bit of baby alpaca with pretty colors. I love these with the little halo color on them. Aurelia, 74 cotton, 26 merino wool. Right? And it's got like the halo of color because the cotton core is white and then the merino wool is whatever the color is. In this case, it's a pretty little coral blue, aqua blue-ish. Want to try alpaca? Is told is non-allergic and hyperallergenic. I believe that is correct. Here we have sticker. Emberstone, 46% wool, 33% cotton, 21% alpaca. Again, chain. It's one of the chain yarns. This must be like a thing right now because I'm realizing there were a lot of them that I saw on the floor too from some of the other companies. And here we have a traditionally spun Morel, I think. 65% wool, 35% silk, and it feels really nice. So there you go. There are the newbies from Barocco with a big old calendar. I mean catalog. Oh, and wait, that's a catalog, and then that is, they're like a little magazine that has patterns and stuff in addition to, or pattern ideas. And I'm sure you can get the patterns for each of these things as well. But, they're probably like on their site and stuff, but showing off the finished makes with their yarn because they're cool like that. So there we go. That's Barocco. And I told them that we love their pattern. We love the patterns that come through Crochet Foundry made with Barocco yarn. And they said they love giving us yarn to do that. Because they're cool. And I have a brother light. And I think that's about it. We're hitting the end of the hour. Oh my gosh, we are. It's 12:58, which explains why my stomach is going grrr. It says, I want lunch now, please. So yeah, H&H was fabulous, guys. A lot of companies that I talked to are really excited about the pivot to seasonal with Crochet Foundry because they're excited about the possibilities that opens up. I'll have more time, which means I can schedule more things. I can make more things happen. I talked with several companies about doing something where we'll like review a product or whatever on either Jessie at Home or Crochet Foundry. I also want to start doing like once a week. I want to start doing once or twice a week. I want to do a live stream of just Jesse in the studio. Kind of think of like what you see on Twitch a lot of times, where it's just somebody working. You can ask questions and whatever. It's very much just kind of like watching somebody in their studio. And some people think it's awesome, and other people are like, "Why do I want to do this?" But I figure with the amount of time I'm working in my studio, I can twice a week set an hour where I have the computer on and I'm paying attention, so that if anybody has any questions or whatever, I can actually respond to them. Um, and that would probably actually be through Patreon with those. But I would get, a project, a kit, whatever, and then also do a review of that, and then have them come and join us on one of these lives where they might do a coupon or a giveaway or something. So it's like mixing all of those things together so that you can see them in whatever form you enjoy seeing your things from. They'll be, in the newsletters, all of that. So, a lot of companies are really excited about the with the pivot to seasonal, how I'm going to actually have more time to, um, do some of those, to share those products and everything with you. And, I'll do my best to get you some really good coupon codes and such as we do those as well. And giveaways. Giveaways are always fun. Um, so yeah, I think that's it for today. The summer issue of Crochet Foundry will be available for an annual subscription. So you'll get 4 issues a year. So you can get the annual subscription summer plus the next 3 seasons after that on either Wednesday or Friday of next week. And then it'll be available for individual sales on Friday of next week. Originally, we were going to do the subscriptions this Friday and the individuals next Friday, but because I did not have any time to work on the magazine while I was at H&H, we had to push a little bit because, yeah, awesome things happening at H&H, absolutely no time to work on the magazine while I was there. But again, since we're moving to seasonal, this is the last issue that happens just a month after the previous one. So, I've always done my best to make sure that it is a fabulous magazine, but by having them every single month, I haven't done my best of advertising and all of the other things, because there's just enough time to make a fabulous magazine and not enough time for like anything else. So I'm super excited about the fact that we're now going to have time for the everything else's. I hope you guys are too. Um, and I know that up until this point, I have not always been the best at getting back to people and everything, because it has been so intense with the magazine happening every single month. And I don't I don't like being that person who is that busy, and because I miss things, and because I miss my family, and because I miss my version of sanity. So hopefully this is all going to be just awesomeness with switching over to seasonal. All right. I'm super excited about the summer issue. We will talk again on Wednesday, next week on Wednesday. I don't remember when the sit and stitch is next week, but you can find it under the community section, if you go to crochetfoundry.com, on the main menu, there's community. And under that, there's the events schedule. And I have or events calendar or event schedule, one of those two. And I have all of those on there. And I will be updating that. So I will see you all next week. I need to find my mouse. I buried it under a bunch of Barocco yarn, and it's hard to end the live stream if I don't have the mouse. All righty, guys. Oh, Sarah says she thinks it's from 1 to 3 next week. It's definitely not from 10 to 12, because that was this week. All right. I'll see you guys all next week. Have a great day. And Monique says have a great day as well. All right. See you guys. Bye-bye.